You are welcome to Joe Newton online class. In this video, we are going to look at this task on the board. This is basic mathematics for us to enjoy. Now look at this. We are asked to look at factors and prime factors, of course. Then we have a task on the board demanding us to find the factors and prime factors of these numbers 30 and the 54 respectively. Now, first of all, what do we mean by factors of a number? Factors of a number are simply those numbers that can divide into that particular number without remainder. These are the factors, which means that number in question is a multiple to them. Then let's look at these numbers. Solution. Then what do we mean by prime factors? By prime factors, we mean, of course, we should know what a prime number is first before talking about prime factors. A prime number is a number that has only two factors, which are 1 and itself. By implication, it means that there are only two numbers that can possibly divide into that particular number, prime number, without remainder. And these two factors or two numbers are 1 and the number itself. Apart from 1 and the number itself, such a prime number has no other factor. Any other number that divides into it, we get a fraction. That is it. There will be a remainder. Okay. Now let's look at this. Number 1, factors. Factors of 30. What are the factors of 30? Now, we look at factors of 30. Now, what are the numbers that can divide 30 without remainder? We start with 1. 1 is a factor of every number, including itself. 1. Another number that can divide into 30 without remainder, I think 2 can go. 2. Because 1 divides 30 will give us 30. 2 divides 30 will give us 15. Another number is 3. Because 3 divides 30 will give us what? 10. So once you know your multiplication table, you can easily find the factors. Then, because opposite of division is what? Multiplication. So let's think of 4. Can 4 divide into 30 without remainder? No. So 4 cannot go in here. We think of the next number, which is what? 5. 5 divided 30 gives us what? 6. Therefore, 5 is qualified. Then the next other number should be what? 6, which we obtain when we divide with 5. So 6 is qualified. Then the next number here, remember when we divided with 3, we get what? 10. So 10. So also, when we divided with 2, we get what? 15. So 11 cannot go here, 12 cannot divide into here, 30, the next number is 15, which we get when we divided by what? 2. Then 1 divided 30 itself gives us what? 30. If you look at this, if you count the digits of these factors, it will tell you something. Look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which means the numbers, the dividers, and the value they get are there. Look at this. 1 divides 30 gives us 30. 2 divides 30 gives us 15. 3 divides 30 gives us what? 10. And 5 divides 30 gives us 6. So they are in pairs, both the divisor and the quotient. That are the numbers and the factors. Okay. Now let's look at prime factor. That is the A solution, the B, prime factor. Prime factors of 30. So, prime factors of 30 here are out of these factors or these numbers, those ones that has only two factors to themselves are the prime factors. I've told that a prime number is a number that has only two factors, 1 and what? Itself. So let's look at this now. Is 1 a prime number? The answer is what? No, because 1 has only one factor, itself 1. Is 2 a prime number? Yes. Some people make this mistake. Even in some textbooks, So that's why we are here to put these things right. 2 is a prime factor and also a prime number because 2 has only 2 factors. 1 and what? 2 can divide into 2. So 2 has to be qualified as the only even number that has what? 2 factors. So 2 is only even prime number. Okay, then we have this. Of course, other prime numbers or prime factors are odd numbers. But be mindful of this fact, not all odd numbers are prime factors or prime numbers, but all the prime factors or prime numbers except 2 are what? Odd numbers. For instance, 9 is an odd number, but that's number there is not divided by 2, but 9 is not a prime factor. Reason: 9 has more than 2 factors. 9 has 1 can divide into 9, 3 can divide into 9 to get 3, and the 9 can divide itself. You see, 9 has 3 up to 3 factors, so it is not a prime number, though an odd number. Okay, then we continue. So here, other prime number here is 3 because 3 has only 2 factors, 1 and itself. Other one here quickly is what? 5. 5 has 2 factors, 1 and itself can divide into 5 without remainder. So 6 is not qualified because 6 has 1 can divide 6, 2 can divide 6, 3 can divide 6, and 6 can divide 6. So 6 is not a prime number or prime factor there. So, and also 10 is not a prime number. It has more than 2 factors, so as 15 and 30. So these are the prime factors of 30. Why these are the factors of what? 30. So I believe with this you can do the I part of the question. This is I part of the question. Let's look at 54. Factors of 54. Factors of 54. Now look at it. Quickly, we'll start with 1. 1 can divide 54. 2 can divide into 54. Of course, any number ending with 0 or with even number, that number is divisible by 2. Know this fact. So this one is ending with even number, ending with 0. It is divisible by what? 2. Okay, let's look at 3. Can 3 divide 54? 3 divide 5. If you practice it here, 54. 3 divide 5 gives us what? 1, 1, remember 2. Put it here, have 24. 3 divide 24, we have 8. So 3 can go. 3 is a factor there. Now let's look at 4 cannot go there. 4 is not a factor there. 5 is not a factor there. Of course, 5 is usually a factor of a number that ends with 5 or 0. That is where 5 comes in again. So 6 is, let's check if 6 is a factor here. Yes, 6 times, if you look at 6, 6 times 1, 6 times 2, you have 12 times 3, we have what? 18. So I think 6 times 3, you have 18. You have 6 times 4, you have 24. 6 times 5, 30. 6 times 6, you have 36. 6 times 7, you have 42. 6 times 8, you have 48. 6 times 9, you have 54. So 6 is a factor. Okay, 6. Quickly. So now the next number, the factor there, 7 is not a factor here. 8 is not a factor here. Then let's look at 9. If 6 times 9 gives us 54, by implication, 9 is a factor. So 9 is a factor here. Then now let's go back to the drawing board. Then when we divide it with 3, 3 divides 54, we get what? We get 18, which means 18 is what? A factor. Okay, so we have here 18 is a factor. Because when we divide it with 3, we get 18. So 18 is a factor there. Good. Now let's look at when we divide by 2, 2 divide 54. Of course, will give us what? 27. Because 2 times 27 will give us what? 54. So 27 therefore becomes a factor. Then the next number there is when we divide it with 1. 1 divided 54 gives you 54 its what? Self. So have 54. If you can't, they will match up in pairs as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. which means both the divisors and the quotients are there, that the numbers divided and the factors are there. 1 divided 54 gives us 54, 2 divided 54 gives us 27, 3 divided into it gives us 18, and 6 divided gives us what? 9. So these are the factors of what? 54. Then the I part of it, this is the A part of the question. The B part of the question, for the prime factors, of 54. So what are the prime factors? Those factors of 54 that are prime numbers, that has only 2 factors to themselves, that is 1 and itself can divide it. So of course 1 is not qualified, though it is an odd number, but not a prime number. So 2 is a prime number here, 3 here is a prime factor here. Then I think only 2 and 3. 6 is not a prime factor, it has factors more than 2 numbers. So and so with others here. So only 2 and 3 are the prime numbers among these factors. So those prime numbers among the factors of a number are called the prime factors of that number. And I've told you that the prime number is a number that has only 2 factors, only 2 numbers that can divide into it without remainder. That is 1 and itself. Thank you for paying attention to this particular class. I believe with this you can tackle similar questions under factors and prime factors. This is basically for basic classes and even junior secondary schools, even as well as senior secondary school, because while studying mathematics you can meet this along the line. For more of these solutions and tutorials, you reach out to me through my phone number here. You can also enjoy more classes at my YouTube channel, Joe Newton Online Class. Visit my Facebook page as well, TikTok and Instagram, to enjoy mathematics and physics with me. God bless.